we have been having you in our industry as a veteran of the cable TV industry since 1980s, before even cable TV started. First of all, it's a great pleasure to have you as a veteran.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
How do you feel being part of this industry for so many years?
It's been a great journey. In fact, this journey started from 1973. So you could say it is something like 45 years old journey now. It's been absolutely great. Seen the gamut of technologies coming and going to now the latest in technology where we reached the stage of an OTT today. So it's a great pleasure being a part of this industry.
I think it's a pleasure for the industry as well. Now, since we are entering into the second phase of the industry where a lot of things have changed, we are moving towards digital, rather digitalization has already been implemented at many places.
Yeah.
Can you please share with us what is the new project that your company is doing nowadays?
We are now a conditional access specialist company. We have brought in a technology which is of a European origin, and a lot of work is going on here in our R&D itself to refine the technology, upgrade it to. It was already an international standard, but we want to be leaders in the international market with the conditional access systems. Along with that, we are now launching various products in the IPTV and OTT segments.
So if I ask you what are the new products or services that you're planning to launch now, and why do you think that the customers would opt for your company products? If you could give something.
The need of the hour for the industry today for revenue generation, maximizing of their revenues now, is platform where they can generate revenues. ARPUs have to go up. So for that, they needed one to be on broadband. They are now on IPTV thanks to that, and now along with that, the OTT projects. They're already coming up by the day. We're going to be a part of that by offering our DRM, which is very critical, and we have one of the finest technologies there. And we will probably be one of the first movers in the country with this technology.
Now, how do you see India's cable television journey moving from analog to digital?
Well, we are in a process where I think we've reached somewhere at least for digitization. We are still a little far away, thanks to the slow implementation of digitization. I think the government needs to pull up its act. They really need to enforce the digital laws that were brought in for digitization, which have not fully been implemented. Once that is done, we are not too far away from full digitization. Maybe 3 years down the line, we should be fully digital ready as a country.
Great. Now, if we ask you, what role do you see of your company in Digital India and Make in India initiative? And how do you think, how do you plan to take advantage of this opportunity?
So the first and most important thing that India was facing was that there was a technology deficit in terms of encryption. There was not a single Indian company which could claim to have the technology which could help our operators encrypt their signals, which is the key demand of digitization, because that is what will generate revenues for the government of India and other state governments. Having seen that stage where all the foreign companies were giving encryption technologies to India, various international companies from Europe and US, we thought it was better that we come out with something which is technologically very sound and made in India. So we bought a technology from Europe, and that technology has been now further improved. And today we can say that the level of technology we have is comparable to the best in the world. And at least in India, I don't think we have any competition in terms of the technology we own today from an Indian company. That is the present situation. And going forward, we will help make sure that India, automatically this is like one of the finest Make in India projects, what we have done. And because even the smart cards that we give with the set-top boxes are totally made in India now. They are not being imported or anything. They are made in India, and the software is now created here in India in our labs. And we feel that, I really feel that India is doing something which probably was not thought of. and we are happy to be a part of it.
Mr. Nanda, as you're already aware that India is considered to be one of the largest television market in the world.
Yeah.
Now, how would you plan to tap this great potential of this ever-growing market?
First, I'll give you a few numbers which are very critical, which people even in the government doesn't talk about. The ultimate potential of the Indian market is going to be around 375 to 400 million in terms of set-top boxes which will be used by the public of India. Right now, we have not even reached 150 million, and there's another 250 million which is coming. So we expect this to be completed between 2022 and in the worst case scenario it would be 2025. In case if the income levels of Indians keep growing as it is now growing, I think by 2022 the entire 375 to 400 million homes will be with set-top boxes using conditional access, and that's where we are going to be playing a very major part.
Now, how do you see then the overall growth as of now of the set-top box and cash business in India?
The growth should have been faster, as I just said. Unfortunately, because of lack of application in implementing the technology, the various states are even today, are giving digital content unencrypted, because there seem to be no one who is controlling or checking them or forcing them to encrypt. Once that happens, we will be reaching better numbers of encryption. And encryption is what the government of India wants, because they want revenue. Without encryption, there is no revenue coming. So it is imperative that the encryption happens fast. And once that happens, I presume that entire 375 million I talked about will be very easily achieved and within a very short time.
So primarily, what attracted you to the industry, to this industry? Is it the numbers, or is it the business model, or is it the...
Starting in 1973, the company I was working for were already in RF business, making preamplifiers and electromechanical products. So already I was attached to the TV industry, because the product itself was key for television content to reach far-flung homes which were not actually connected by Doordarshan. So we had to make it happen. So then from 1982, we started our own companies making preamplifiers, and we reached almost something like 100 million homes were covered. I mean, 100 million of the homes were covered by preamplification, helping Doordarshan to increase its reach, which was almost negligible otherwise, because the transmitters they were using were of very low power, and they did not have the capacity to go far. As you know, these signals travel by line of sight. So it was very difficult to pick up a signal and then amplify it. So we had to raise antennas by 30, 40, 50 feet, pick up those signals, line of sight, amplify them up there, and then bring them down to the television, so that your TV viewing in rural India could happen. So this was one of the biggest exercises ever done in any part of the world to make TV happen in areas where otherwise it would not have happened. So that kept attracting me to this industry. Then we moved from there to cable TV industry in 1991, which again was very interesting. From there it kept growing. Then came in the needs of advanced high quality cables. So we went into that. Then came the digitization process, started in early 2000. We went into that. Then fiber optics. So the industry kept evolving, and and my company, we were always deeply involved, in new ideas, new things for the country. The passion was for the country. It was not so much for money making. It was more for the nation moving forward and matching the world with technology. And I think that India has almost achieved now.
Great. Now, what do you foresee the challenges faced by the industry today? Or you already feel these are the challenges which the industry is facing as of now?
Challenges are, there are too many things happening at the same time. With opening of the economy, the private sector coming in, the government sector almost playing no role in expansion of this industry. So I'm not only about my industry. And now the whole entire thing is in private hands. be it telecom players, be it cable operators. Each one of them is, competing with the other in IPTV, crisscrossing. Telecom is going into IPTV, cable TV is going into IPTV. Along with that, everybody is going into OTT. So it's a very tough position because everybody is fighting for space. So everybody tends to reduce pricing, tends to make things unattractive in terms of business sense. But eventually, the sorting will happen. The people who will be left standing will rule for a long time to come. And of course, they will cash on all the hard work they're doing for the last 5-10 years now. But it's an engrossing situation, but it's a tough one because only the fittest will survive. That's how it is. I see it right now.
Mr. Nanda, would you like to know one more thing? What is it a hobby one can say is your hobby? What are your hobbies? A very personal question I'm asking. What are your hobbies?
My passion.
I repeat. One, what are your hobbies? And number two, are you still able to continue with those hobbies?
Yeah. I'm an avid reader of anything that's happening in India and internationally in terms of news, events. I'm a student of international relations. I did my honors in the subject. So I tend to know and want to know what's happening within India and worldwide. And I need to read almost 4 newspapers a day, end to end, leaving nothing aside, including the editorials. I leave nothing. So I'm very fond of reading. I love reading. I love knowing what's happening in the world. And I am a little active on social media, a little bit. And I'm a very keen farmer. I have done farming for almost 25 years of my life. So there have been a lot of things in my life. Besides being passionately, involved for my country's growth and success, especially in the business I am in. That's my main passion right now.
I would want to ask one last question.
Yeah.
Since you are a very well-known name in the industry, what is it that you can advise or suggest to the youth of our country?
Yeah.
And if you also need to guide and suggest for the industry as well?
Well, for the youth of the industry, because I still feel very youthful, my only advice is read a lot. There is nothing which can substitute reading. But it helps you in increasing your knowledge. It keeps you away from stupidities because you're more engrossed in doing something creative. Be very, very active in sports because that's half the job done in your intellectual growth. It's not going to happen by only reading. It's not going to happen by only being passing exams all the time. What is important? Sports is key to any child's growth or a youth's growth. And be true to yourself. That's what I advise every youngster. Be true to yourself. Work like a madman because nothing compensates hard work. And you will reach the heights of your profession, but just work hard and be true to what you do. That's my advice to every youngster.
And further, what would you advise for the industry?
For the industry, my advice is very clear. We've got to be more true to the industry we all survive on. We can't just use it as a melon to squeeze the juice out all the time. We've got to give something back. My idea of bringing this technology to India was not just to make money, because I knew it will take years to make money because the investment was so large that making profit was almost unthinkable. But still, it had to be done because India had to move forward with something of its own. You can't live on, traded technologies all the time. They're not going to help you. You must have something of your own and then grow that technology matching what is happening internationally. It can't be static. It's got to be dynamic. So that's what I advise all the people in this industry to do. Be dynamic. Don't think and sit on numbers that okay, I've done enough, now I'm going to keep have a healthy life, make money. No, it doesn't work like that. It's an ongoing process, 24/7. Keep at it. And if people keep at it, this industry is really going to hit the sky because we are really sitting at the cusp of massive growth. But everybody got to be dedicated. They must take out the money they've earned over the years and reinvest. I tell everybody, reinvest is the word right now. You can't bank on loans and others. You have to reinvest from your resources you have generated in the last 25, 27 years of this industry. Put it right back, and then again you will grow. If they do that, this industry is going to be the brightest on the face of the earth.
What a great advice we get from a great person.
Thank you.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Like and share this video, and for more news and updates subscribe to our YouTube channel.